Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 4, Creature Comforts. To quickly recap last episode, we managed to add some additional honor to Sven by building this micro-monument, and we set up a stockpile that slaves cannot access due to the weapons. We also enslaved a 18-year-old slave that I don't intend to keep long-term due to a lack of passions and skills, and we recruited Zleb. Now, Zleb has yet to join our ideology, but I will make sure that happens immediately. Before I get going, I would like to address some of the confusion I've seen in the comments. This was a concept for this series, but not the final set of rules and requirements. Before the series started, fluid ideology actually didn't exist. So I created this concept without knowing that fluid ideology would be added to RimWorld. And that's why some of these have changed. Others we have voted on in a form that I put up for my community to vote in prior to the airing of the first episode. So the all other colonists must be slaves requirement has been dropped. This has been dropped due to fluid ideology and the fact that I didn't think that that would make for very good content. And then also the requirement of 3 deserts in a row, well, that has been dropped as well. That got voted on in the forum, and we are not doing that any longer. All of the rules for this series are going to be in the description, and if there's to be any additional rules added, you all will get the opportunity to vote on them. So, as I said, the first thing I want to do is to fix the whole Zleb is not one of us problem. And boom, Zleb is now one of us. Which means she is not going to want to A, have her tribal tattoos and tribal hair, or B, wield a bow. So I will be fixing that momentarily. Our ideologian despises Neolithic weapons, so it's only should be equipped in times of absolute need. Otherwise, we don't use Neolithic weapons. Trustin here is going to make a heavy SMG for Zleb, and then the goal of this episode will be to try to get the trio proper bedrooms. This might not be the most glorious task or anything like that, but given that our trio are greedy and selfish by design, that I think is a worthy goal. I'm going to be designing bedrooms that are rather large. Bedrooms that meet the requirement for count level royal titles. So what I'm doing here is setting up a 30 tile bedroom, a 5x6, and these spots here. And these bedrooms are going to allow us to treat our trio better. I'm also changing around the crops that we're planting. So I'm going to be planting some Tinctoria. And another thing I would like to do is to treat this slave with, I don't know, a modicum of dignity. Not because we're trying to be nice, but actually because we're trying to be more evil. So here's the thing. If the slave here revolts, it's not doing work. So it doesn't really benefit me if the slave is unhappy and revolting. It's best if it's productive. And for that reason, this slave is a night owl. So I'm going to put the slave on a night owl schedule and give the slave a bed so that it's less likely to become a problem and fuss about whatever. I'm also going to be giving this slave a little bit of tribal wear, just so that we, can remove that -4 malice. And for now, I'm not going to be building this eventual room there, that will be a bit later. This room here will be the ritual room, and we don't need that at the moment. So this slave needs to be drafted to go into this weapon room, because there's weapons in there and he's not normally allowed to go in there. But there is the travelware, and I can clear force here now. And next up will be machining a heavy SMG for Zleb to wield. And Zleb, I'm actually going to change your work priorities. And you are going to be set to stone cut. So initially I need limestone. I need limestone for this project. And I think what I'm going to be doing is flooring these bedrooms with slate. And then leaving the sandstone for beauty and sculptures and the like. Sandstone is a very easy stone to work with. I don't have any sandstone blocks, but we can build monuments out of sandstone more quickly than we can for limestone. Other things that I would need to do is probably to go around and start cutting all of the cacti. The reason for this is twofold. One, wooden doors open and close very fast, and, well, I like wooden doors, so that's one obvious reason. These cactus are kind of close to the edge of the map. I'm not going to cut those. And two, as our royal title goes up, we are going to be required to have braziers that are lit, and that is going to be a bit of a problem if I don't have wood, because you can't light nothing on fire. So I'm going to go around and set up these cacti to be trimmed. And the drago trees. The drago trees are actually even better than cactus. All right. This slave will be planting cotton back. And this stockpile here, I don't know why it was set to hops. It should stay potatoes. Now, we've not yet made the heavy SMG. I think what I'll do is I'll have Trustin Smith over Taylor, and we'll get that SMG this morning quickly. There it is. This quest here I had no interest in. It would be very expensive to give up a colonist for 6 days. Detrimental to our progress, so not doing that. Not taking that one on. Pretty soon, Sven here will have the research at that bench done. And one of the things I'm going to need is a microelectronics, or rather a high-tech research bench when that finishes. I'm also going to have the opportunity to build a comms console and a orbital trade beacon. Oh, and we have Thrumbo. Ooh, 2 Thrumbo. I am probably going to want to hunt the Thrumbo, especially when this last SMG gets made. Because Thrumbo fur and horns are worth a whole lot. But I'm going to wait until they're asleep. Let's take a look at them. 35 years old, no health problems. 40 years old, and no health problems. So neither one of them are easier than the other to hunt. They're both the same relative difficulty. Okay, so there is the heavy SMG. Now we have 4 with weapons. Trustin here is getting these bedrooms ready to go. And Bunny is mining out a little nook here, and this is where I will put my high-tech research bench. You go in this location, and then this wall will get flush, and this will be my small hospital. It will be hospital version 1.0, let's say. Oh, these Thrumbo are eating trees. Let's hunt them before they completely, remove all the cacti from this map tile, because they are dendrivores or tree eaters, and that's going to become a problem for me. Now, the other thing to note is Zaleb here is not exactly the fastest mover as a result of some wounds that we've inflicted. So what I'm going to be doing is trying to lure the Thrumbo with Bunny. Oh, and that's not working. Oh, no, it is working. Good. Because Bunny is the fastest of us and can outrun a Thrumbo. And the others should just be set to shoot it. If I really needed to, I could use the turrets. And it's down. Not too difficult. And the other Thrumbo will do the same. I'm not interested in keeping them as pets. I don't have anyone that can animal handle at level 10 anyway, I don't think. No, our best animal handler is 5, so... Alright, the best thing to do here is to fire at it at max range and have Bunny a little bit closer so as to act as a lure. Because Bunny moves at 5, and this Thrumbo moves at 5.5, but once it gets injured, it will slow down. So, it's already moving less than 5, which means Bunny can outrun it after first volley. And this is a really good strategy early on. Oh, we also have a exotic goods trader coming in, which is rather fortuitous because one of the reasons to kill Thrumbo is their beautiful horns, and an exotic goods trader would buy that and make us some money. All right, so now it's chasing Sven, which is fine, and it's dead. All right, perfect. Bunny, let's get you to haul and butcher. And put everyone back to work. So the exotic goods trader is from West Hinia. One of the things that would be really good to purchase, if I can, would be shock lances. I don't see that they're bringing in the shock lance. Oh no, that's wrong. Yeah, they have an insanity lance, but no shock lance. So the reason I wanted shock lances is it's really effective to gain slaves, because you can knock the slaves unconscious and, bada bing, bada boom. The other thing I should do is the Thrumbo are going to produce leather, and that leather is going to be an amazing material for dusters. So we are going to get some amazing dusters out of this, I think. I'm also going to struggle keeping the meat, so here's what I'll do. This stockpile now is kitchen meat. I will copy this kitchen meat zone, which is important, and put it here. Meat overflow or something, I don't know. And put this as preferred. The reason for this is so that potatoes are obviously not going to spoil at the same rate as meat. So we can keep... Here, I'll just do... This will be a kitchen overflow. I'll pull the potatoes out. So that we can store more meat, because this Thrumbo is... The second one is going to get butchered, and we're not going to have a place for it. Alright, let's get the butchering done. And then have... I think Sven's probably the highest social. Oh, they're the same. 13, 13. This is a low 13 and a lower 13, so I'll have Sven do it anyway. It's not going to change the cost. If you're ever curious about trade price improvement, 21.5 is Sven's, and Bunny's is 19.5. So actually, Sven is a little bit better. Why, though? Base value times 20. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, faction leader bonus of 2%. Okay, there we go. Yeah. That makes it a lot more clear. So here is the Thrumbohorn that I wanted to sell, and that's just about all of the silver that they have. I'm not going to buy the Insanity Lance because that would eat all of my profits. And that will be it. Now, I could make a lot of money ranching the turkeys here if I bought a male and a female. But because we live in the desert and I don't have an easy way of feeding them, apart from giving up a significant swath of my farm for turkeys, and I'm just not at this point interested in that. I don't think that would really benefit us. Alright, so there is a little bit of thrumbo meat that can't be stored in the stockpile, and I'm not going to worry about that. Hopefully we'll eat some fine meals, and that won't be a problem for us. Alright, the other thing I wanted to do is dusters. I'm going to make as many dusters as I can turn this Thrumbo into probably 2 dusters. And that will be awesome. All right. Mr. Trustin, let's get you to construct over craft. And we also had a chunk of spacecraft land pretty close. We also have a look desire change for Zleb. Zleb spawned as a tribal style, as did the slave, so I'm going to want to change the way they look. In fact, they're going to want to change the way they look. For now, I'm not going to be adding roof to any of this, so it's easier to floor it, but I will move the light over for the first bedroom. And then the plan here is to have this be the limestone door, which stays open. And then this can be the sort of airlock, a longer hallway airlock. We are just about done with our requirement of limestone, so I'm going to just say any stone block is fine now. Limestone, slate, sandstone, don't really care what it is. I'll use it in the long run. Oh, why are these guys... Oh, it's probably asthma or something. Oh, he's having a heart attack. Well, that's not good. Sven here is just about done researching the microelectronics. So one of the things that I want to pair with that is a spot to have the research room. So I gotta smooth that out as well, which is going to be a pretty effortful, I think. Fairly expensive. Now these bedrooms are just as awful as the barracks. So there's not a lot of reason to move our quarters into them just yet. Definitely going to want to make them a little bit nicer. And finally, the sun is back. I've been missing you. So I think slate tiles will look rather handsome in this hallway. And then we'll have limestone tiles in this part. But Trustin needs his sleep. All right, let's see. What can we do with the thrombo meat? I'd like to cook before it spoils. There's not a whole lot of meat that I get on this map tile. And there we are, microelectronics. Now with microelectronics done, I'm going to quickly do beer brewing and psychoid. So, because we don't have a high-tech research bench, I can't do the higher tech researches, but I might as well get the lower tech ones done. And now we have room for all the thrombo meat. Perfect. And the look desire change can be fulfilled. So the slave here is going to be clean-faced, shaven, shorn, and bald. Like that. Also, I need to allow tribal wear, because he has since taken off his clothing, but that's going to make him upset. And in the slave designation, I'm going to allow toques as well. In case he gets cold, I can always throw a toque on. Toques don't have penalties to suppression mechanics. But with a body strap and a collar, I actually have a little bit of wiggle room anyway. The body strap and collar gives a minus 30%, but I only need minus 20% for there not to be a suppression fall. So I can afford to, you know, give him some clothing that would make him rebel. Just not too much. So one of the things I like to do with slaves, if they get cold really easily, is give them a formal shirt, or vest, rather. Which is in the noble apparel, if you have royalty and noble apparel tree. Because this is the middle layer. Oh no, that's not the right one. Formal vest. This is a middle layer, so that it doesn't interrupt or interact with the body strap or tribal wear. So you have 3 layers. The body strap on outer, the formal vest on middle, and then the tribal wear or pants and shirts, it doesn't really matter which, on the skin layer. So this will be the first bedroom that we can move out of. And we got a mad emu on our hands. It's getting pretty close. So those that are... Actually, everybody's up. Let's go bird hunting. Wow, that was a heart shot. Okay, let's kill the other one. Might as well. And there's a third not too far away. Not that I need more meat, I really don't. But I'll take the bird leather. Another thing I should probably kick off is a leader speech. I'm going to start that. The expected quality is 72%. There's a much greater chance that it's encouraging or inspirational than negative. Oh, but before I actually do that, let me cancel that and clean up the room. It would be... The best result would be if this room is nice and clean, and it might get dirty in the process of starting the speech, but I want to give it the best chances possible. All right, here we go. 4 development point. Come on, bunny. Attend. And it was inspirational, which is the best possible outcome. Lucky me. There was actually a very low chance of that. So that's pretty awesome. We are now 8 out of 10 development points. Very close to the needed 10 to revise and reform. I'm hoping that Trustin gets this bedroom done, And then I think what I'll do, well, I'll let him work at his pace. But this bedroom will no longer be awful, and we'll have someone use it. All right, one thing I just noticed is the giblet cages here are causing blockage, you know, so don't set them up downwind of the wind turbines. Took me a while to notice that, but at least I did. So this hallway, this of course will be yet another bedroom, and then this hallway I will make into limestone. Not that I have the limestone for it at the moment. And this bed here, let's give it to Bunny. She has the lowest mood of the group, so she would benefit the most from a bedroom. Of this trio, no one person of the trio is higher up or more elevated than the others. Just because Sven is the leader doesn't mean that he's to be treated better. They are all equals. Everybody under them, but they themselves are all equals. Alright, looks like we are treating this guy pretty well. He couldn't be any happier. Well, he could, but he's pretty high mood. Which also means that he's not likely to rebel. Mood 120%, which is reducing his rebellion mechanics. I could suppress him a little bit more. That would push the needle even further. But one rebellion in a full year is not very often. It's possible to do better, but that's pretty good. And there we have a second bedroom. And Trustin, take that one for yourself. And then the last bedroom I will be setting up over there. Sven does a burning passion work all throughout the day, as he has a burning passion for intellectual. So it's rather easy to keep him happy. Meaning I don't really need to give him a bedroom more than the others. And beer brewing is done. Let's get psychoid brewing next. I don't believe that anyone in the colony has enough grow skill to even grow psychoid. Oh no, I have plants 6. I could do it. And then the idea here is to have a hospital room like this here. Smoothing out the remaining floors, and then embedding the power cables in the wall, and putting the high-tech research bench there, and then hospital bedding, especially once we have sterile tiles. Looks like I might need to instruct Zleb to start cutting the slate again, or limestone. So let's change that to any stone blocks. We'll remove sandstone from this. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Bunny seems to have finished mining, and I'm not going to queue her up for any other mining until that stuff gets hauled. I'll expand this stockpile here. So there will be the high-tech research bench. And then there's other changes that I need to make to this area. Actually, let's forbid that and smooth the back first. There's other changes I need to make, like vents. I forgot vents here, and that will allow these bedrooms to be warm or cold or whatever they need to be. And I'll connect vents through all of this. But these bedrooms here are dull, and they don't come with the same penalties as other bedrooms, which is good. Now we just have slept in the cold. Not that big of a deal in the scheme of things. Taking a look at the other rituals I could kick off. Let's go ahead and try a lantern ceremony. In order to do this, this slave here can't access the wood. So what I could do is put him on unrestricted briefly. And then once everybody's up in the morning, I'll put a ritual spot in. I'm going to have the ritual spot close to the stockpile here. And the Discovery Lanterns only care about participants and low expectations, or the expectation level. So it doesn't matter if we kick the ritual off in our ritual room or not. The kicking it off in the ritual room only provides a benefit if we have relics, and we don't have relics yet. I'm actually going to choose not to pave this. This whole area here is, I want to get rid of. I don't intend for that to stay at all. So Trustin has smoothed out everything that needs smoothing. So he's really just waiting for limestone. So let me force a limestone stone cut. But before that, let's kick off the Discovery Lanterns. Now, if it's unforgettable, which is only 19%, we might actually be able to resolve or revise or develop our ideology, which would be very early, I'd say. And the benefit of these Discovery Lanterns, if we scroll down, a positive Discovery Lantern ritual discovers an ancient complex nearby. And then the other ones are still on cooldown. The Arctic Invitation on cooldown, Conversion Ritual on cooldown. We don't have anyone to publicly execute. And I did just get offered the Deathly Structure Robbing, another ancient complex. And that would be out on the world tile here. And this, unfortunately for me, was unimpressive. Only a -1 mood, so not that penalizing. We just had a raid of all brawlers and sheep joined at the same time. Okay, interesting. Well, this raid, let's head them off. I don't want them looming. And I'm going to hit Combat Command with Sven, so we're accurate. And these guys are prepare a while, but I'm going to go to them. You know, actually, I'm not. What I'm going to do is... I have a pen marker? Oh, I do, don't I? Bunny might be a little far. Kinda worried about that. I think these sheep would be best sold. Okay, now they're assaulting. I want to take as many prisoners as I can, but I'm not going to pull punches and get myself hurt either. Chase the bunny. Oops. Bunny's hard to catch. She's very fast and very tough. Right, let's get a look. Oh, I didn't mean for her to take that shortcut. Stupid debris. All right, so they're fleeing. I only got cut a little bit. A bruise, not even cut. And we're going to try to take as many down as we can. Crazy enough, no prisoners yet. Everybody has just died. Engo. Hey, we dropped one. Well, Trustin, you tend without medicine. And taking a look at them, they're just going to be yet another slave. No intention of keeping them because absolutely atrociously terrible traits and passions. Good combat passions, but given the traits, I'm not really interested. All right, Sven, you too are a doctor. You tend Bunny without medicine. It's not that big of a wound. And Trustin is patching this one up for us to grab and imprison. Capture. Done. The rest of the corpses we'll have to tidy up or throw into gibbets. Or giblets, rather. Gibbet cages. And we're starting to get rams, and that's going to cause a whole lot of sort of filth. So I think Bunny is still, yeah, she's still grabbing the other rams. Most of me wants to just slaughter them outright, having no interest in being a rancher. And I think that will be the result here, is to just butcher these guys, rather than to wait for the wool or anything like that. All right. Engo, we are going to convert you and then enslave you. Oh, great. They're pregnant. So now with all of my farming plots having been sown, the slave here is going to be able to haul. Another thing I want to do is let's do a temp stockpile. The temp stockpile will just be this, but lower. So this stockpile here is normal. This one will be low. And that will allow the slave to haul things to where they need to go eventually. And Trustin is just about done with the research bench project. I'm not going to derail him. I really want this done. And we're good to go. There it is. I do need to add some more roof, but there it is. Research bench for Sven. And Engo just had a crisis of belief. So what I'm going to be doing with Engo is now treating him a little bit better. Because he is going to be, he's going to be easier to recruit that way. So I think the best approach here would be this. My slave gets moved in here, and then Engo will get a bed of his own And a light, maybe a standing lamp. So this is for slaves, yes. And then this will be for prisoners. The excellent bed probably swapped with Zleb. So that Zleb gets a better bed, not my prisoner. And this will be for prisoners. And we'll also add in a table and a stool. So here's the reason. I should explain. The crisis of belief, once you have it, if you are below 50% certain of your ideology, you'll just become some random other ideology. So once someone's crisis of belief drops to below the 50% mark, it's best if you... Oh man, I gotta slaughter these. It's best if you don't let them have another crisis of belief. Because if you have them have another, they actually just might get certainty in some other random ideology, and that's likely not something that you're going to want to have happen. Thank you for watching Episode 4, Creature Comforts of the Archotechs, a fluid RimWorld ideology series. If you have any feedback for me about this, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. If you would like to chat about the Archotechs or RimWorld in real time, Rhadamant.com has a link to Discord. Thank you so very much for watching, and thank you patrons for making this content possible.